Our boys. So today is second day of the stream. So we're gonna be answering these 4 questions today. So one is why IG, and then how to prime your account. I'm gonna be explaining what priming is, how to go viral, and what to do after going viral. Because there's a big misconception where people think all they have to do is go viral and then they're gonna print. It's not the case. So 2 years ago, TikTok organic was like the #1 platform for dropshipping in general. But then ever since they introduced TikTok Shop, which is like a year ago, something like that, it made the game way harder for organic dropshippers. For that reason, most of the advanced ones have shifted their focus on IG instead of TikTok. Now, don't get me wrong, we still post on all platforms. However, the main focus is on IG because most of the money is there anyway. So let's say you were running car product and then you reached 10K. 2 months later, your product just fell off. You're not making as much sales. So at that point, you should be alarmed that, okay, I need to find a new product. So let's say you find a different car niche product and you have 2 options. Either you expand your website and include 2 products, or you could just completely rebrand. And this is what 99% of people do. They just rebrand their old TikTok or IG in this case. And from that moment, instead of going downwards, you could actually go up. Okay, and this is the best part about IG, is that when you hit this plateau, you could actually rebrand, find a new product, and then launch again. So this is how people like all the advanced dropshippers are doing. That's how they consistently make money. And the best part here is once you find this one good account, you'll always make money. And this is how I reached like a crazy number of views. I've generated, I think, over 150 million views on one IG account. I'm gonna put it somewhere up here. But the reason I'm showing you guys this is because the moment you go viral and you understand the format that made you go viral, you could always replicate it or even repost, which requires zero work. And then you're just automatically gonna go viral again. So I guess now we understand why IG is, because it's more consistent. You could rebrand your pages. Every platform kind of is competing with us right now. So TikTok is providing customers with TikTok Shop, which has like 2 or 3 days of shipping time. And then Amazon is also fulfilling orders in like a day. However, dropshippers are still printing like 100K months. Why or how? Is because they found the right product in the right time. And a lot of them are actually providing these products in the sense of a brand, so that they appear like they're more trustworthy or unique in a way that you wouldn't find them elsewhere, or at least for the quality. I think the best example I could show you guys is actually on my other screen over here. All right, there we go. So this is actually the best example I could give right now. Now, the reason I'm showing you this page is because I don't think until this day they have a logo on their product. They're just simply selling or dropshipping a bag, which pretty much like other 1,000 sellers are selling. At this point, you could probably find it on Amazon too. However, some of them are making up to 100K per month. So it's all about how you perceive the product, how you make it look for the customer, and how you market it. The best part is, like, look at this video, is from the end of last year. However, people have been consistently going viral with this, I think, over the past 3 months. So this also removes one doubt, the saturation part. There's nothing such as saturation. If you can find a new way of marketing a pre-existing winning product, then you can always revive the product and make money again with it. So just wanted to get that out of the way. So now that we know that you don't necessarily need a lot of work on your product for you to make money, that means you could focus on the marketing part, and as long as you do the right marketing and make it appear like a brand and go viral on IG, that means you have a brand. You don't need like a crazy logo or buying stock beforehand. In fact, these sort of steps are only necessary for later stages of dropshipping. It's more of an advanced way. And since we're talking about that, I'm actually just gonna show it to you. I'm showing you some of the better products, by the way. So speaking of stock, buying stock, I was researching this product for the past, I would say, a week or two, and by far I could not find a single supplier which could dropship this with a 1 MOQ. So I'm very convinced that this is more of an advanced strategy where you just buy stock and then fulfill them with a third-party fulfillment center. And this can be also seen from his website. Now, I do have like 5% chance. I think there's a 5% chance that he's still dropshipping it. But for you to do that, you need to be really professional. Because I'll show you one thing. When you go to track your order, this is a part which made me believe that he's dropshipping it. It says orders are being fulfilled in monthly batches. So batch 1 is sold out, and then whoever buys now is going to be part of batch 2. And he would ship them. If you're considering to order, you are a part of batch 2. Your order is scheduled to be delivered by June 20. This is obviously not updated, but you get the point. He is making it clear that he doesn't ship it with 1 MOQ. Instead, he racks up orders and then he ships them in batches. So I think what he did was go viral, and then once he found like a bunch of orders, or he got a bunch of orders, he went to a supplier and told them, yo, I got like 100 customers for you. How about you send them as a batch, and then we can do this maybe twice a month, and then we keep on working this way. I really believe this is what he did. Otherwise, it would be a bit of a risky business model. It would be more like a traditional way of running a business, which is buy stock beforehand and then, ship them separately. But this is very time costly and has a lot of expenses and risk, because what if you don't sell them? So yeah, speaking of stock, I had to talk about this product because it's been performing really well for the past 5 months. And honestly, like, I don't even mind showing you guys this product and then running it myself, because it's part of the game. At first, I thought that if I were to find a winning product, nobody has to know about it. But the more I have gone into the game, I understood that competition is actually good. You gain ideas from competitors, and this is one of the higher barrier of entry products. So if someone's gonna run this, please let me know. How are you gonna run this? I'm actually gonna be interested, because so far there's like maybe 4 sellers. So this tells me enough that it's most likely either bought in bulk or, it's being dropshipped in batches. So now that you have seen that there are multiple ways of selling branded dropshipping products, you have to choose. Would you go for the lower risk products or the higher risk products? I would consider that as a more advanced product, so it's a high risk product. But some products can be sold and they do not require anything different from a pump and dump product. So once you understand that, we can jump to the next point, which is how to prime an account. And the reason why priming an account is very important is because some accounts take up to 3 months to go viral. And obviously, as a dropshipper, you don't want to waste 3 months. So there's multiple things which you could be doing. Now, this is from experience what I've seen people doing, but I haven't tested it myself. However, I might test it in the future. Is you purchase a primed account in your niche. So that's number 1. Number 2 is whether you have an old account which is in a similar niche, because what priming really is all about time. So how long has the account been made for, and whether it has been used for the same niche or topic that you're trying to sell for. So let's say again it's for the car niche. if you have an account where you used to like watch all these car memes or car videos back in 2018, you could reuse that account, and it's more likely to go viral than a new account, you know. So these two are the most important parts. However, if you do not have any of the above, then you could prime it right now, but it will take you up to 3 days. Some people even take it an extra step and prime it for longer. I personally have just done it for 2 to 3 days. So you would have to create an account, and then first day, I would say don't even put a link in bio, just like a few vids, let's say about cars in this scenario. And then second day, watch, like every day would be a compounding effect. Okay, so first day you would just watch a bit of videos about whatever your topic is, and I would say actually follow. This is very important. You need to follow people who are in the same niche, and a lot of lessons I have are actually by watching competition. So I'm actually going to expose one competitor. He's not even a competitor in my product, but trust me guys, I cannot keep stressing enough about finding products. Like if you just scroll on your burner account, which I explained in my previous video, you're eventually going to learn more just by checking the competition. By watching your competitors, you're going to see who are they following, what are they doing, what are they posting, how are they priming their account, are they going viral, on what video are they going viral for. So all these answers are being answered just by you observing their accounts. So I realized a lot of them, they follow a lot of accounts which are in the same niche as them. So in the car niche, you would follow like 10-20 people in the car niche, and this applies to any other niche obviously. So yeah, first day follow a few, like a few videos, and then second day you could put a profile picture. I would say the bio, just keep it simple and clean, no link. And honestly, if you're making a new page, I don't think you need to make a website right off the bat. Focus on the marketing. The website will come later on once you see some views. So just make a simple bio with a profile picture and prime it for 3 days. Eventually you're gonna have to post your first post, which is on the third day. So second day you put a profile picture, comment, save, and like a bit more than first day. And then third day, put bio, put link in bio, and post first video. Okay, now eventually you're gonna have to increase the momentum. So first day I would say post like once or twice, and then eventually you can keep it, you know, keep the momentum up. I would say anywhere between 3 to 5 times per day is your like best case or best bet, but some people even post more. However, the more you post, I think it's better for later on. So I've seen some competitors as well who posted like 10 to 15 times a day. Instagram has no rules. This is the other thing you need to keep in mind, and this is actually what, like, it answers why IG. I'm gonna just quickly break down why IG. One is presentable page, which looks way more trustworthy. So 10k or let's say 20k followers on TikTok, and I have like 6 accounts at 20k, dumped by the way, I don't use them, versus 10k on IG. It's actually gonna be better than the 20k. Okay, so 10k on IG is better than 20k on TikTok. That's one. Two, you have stories, which actually read people on a daily basis. This way you could increase your conversion rate. You have highlights, which also increases trust. And I would say you could like be creative with it. You could either put feedback, you could put like Q&A, answering any questions they might have, or even like a link in bio, whatever you want in highlights. And then thirdly, there's literally no rules. So you could, I'm not saying you should, but a lot of people do this. They steal my content and then they post it as their hook. And this has become like a trend. Everyone just stitches out videos, and yeah, no one gets any copyrights, nothing, because it's just how it is. It's part of the game. In fact, all these meme pages, what they do is they find like a page on whatever, like TikTok, Twitter, whatever. They take that clip, they post it on IG, they get all the credit. If I want to even go further on this topic, I could talk for like an hour. It's all like stitching. You could create content without even owning the product at this point, because you could just find like 10 competitors, take a part of each person's video, and then stitch them up, post it, you're totally fine. I just want to finalize the third point by saying why this is important, is because you never get shadow banned. Okay, so one of the things about TikTok is that if you ever had like a good format or a good video, and then you want to like duplicate or adjust it a bit and then repost it, it would make more sense for YouTube or Instagram, because you barely get shadow banned on those two. However, on TikTok, you're like 90% more likely to get shadow banned if you would ever reuse the old content. Okay, and then lastly, keep on going viral, or consistency. Once you have found what goes viral for your particular product, you could either recreate similar content, which is designed to replicate the pre-existing viral video but even better, or you could just literally duplicate the old content, adjust it a bit, maybe change the music, change the text, and then post it again. And this is what we call split testing. Now this will not sound very clear right now, but I'm gonna actually show you an example and this will clear up any doubts. So it's over here. We're gonna go back to this page right here. I'm gonna literally just scroll over their hooks, okay? And this will show you what split testing is. This is the example I was trying to find. So you can see it's like exactly the same hook, like the same idea, just a different clip. And by the way, I think this is stitched up from a different account. So there's another creator who made that hook, then he took it. But this is what everyone's doing, so I don't know what to say about it. But yeah, you see here, he's using the hook and then followed up by the product. Same for that. I think it's even the same text. Oh, this time it's Target, and then, yeah, this is it. So you can see in this video, it says, finally IKEA has a viral carry-on. And then here, yeah, Target. So in this case, what split testing is that he tested IKEA versus Target. So one time he posted for Target and one time for IKEA, and then he compared what worked and what not. And as you can see, they both worked. So he just found a winning format. So he just found out that using this hook with mentioning like a certain store would bring in a lot of engagement, and then it's gonna go viral. So yeah, you can see he's using like maybe 4 to 5 formats. And by formats, I mean video ideas. And then he's just rinsing them. So yeah, this is what split testing is. It's basically just trying to study why did your content go viral. And then once you understand why it went viral, you could constantly go viral. Alright, so now we have the first 2 points. How to go viral. This is one of a topic, because IG is infamous for being harder to go viral on. Let me take you to this page called Eternal Band. Alright, so we just found this page. I was on my burner account earlier today and I found this page. The reason why this is very interesting for me to share is because it's a dropshipper. In fact, this is a branded dropshipping store, and the guy has over maybe 20 affiliate marketers selling this particular product. Now you can see this is a new page. I think they made it at the start of this month, and what they're doing is they're priming their account. So earlier we were saying step number 1 is you gotta prime your account and then go viral. So what they're doing in this case is they're reusing viral content from all around social media that has to do with their particular niche. So as I was showing you guys earlier, this literally links up to everything I spoke about earlier. So the fact that there's no rules on IG enabled this guy to just steal up raw content from social media, which has to do with couples, and then repost them on his page. And the crazy part is, it's actually working. So you can see here, on average, it's getting like a few thousand views, but then he gets like randomly 100k views here, 200k views there. It just keeps going. So what he's trying to do here is put like a bunch of content which has to do with his particular niche, and then once it blows up the account, that's where he presents his product, and that's where people start buying. So you could call this niche like a theme page. Back in 2014, everyone was doing Instagram theme pages, and then they would sell a promo for an e-com store. Now, 2025, people are creating theme pages, and then they're going viral in a matter of a month or something. And then by the moment they go viral, they introduce their product and they make money. So this is a living proof of what the 1% does. And this page is mentored by Mikey, so if you know, you know. Yeah, I just found him earlier today on my brain account. I was like, I have to show this because even I was inspired. Like when I'm growing, so I have another account on my second phone, which I'm trying to grow for my ecom brand, and I just post my content. I don't post like, you know, other content. So I'm gonna give it a try. I think it's very precious information I'm giving you guys here. So if you're unaware of this, try it. I promise you it's gonna pay off. So now that we know how to go viral, it's actually part of the priming. So the 3 days you prime your account, but you could also look for good content and then repost that good content, or even just use a hook from that good content coupled with your product. Eventually you're gonna go viral. But the most important part about going viral is you don't want to reinvent the wheel. So this is actually like for two things, for content and for products. You don't want to find an untapped product, and then you don't want to find like an untapped way of marketing your product, because these two things are time demanding and there's a lot of trial and error. Why? Because you need to split test. For you to find something new that could get you a lot of views, you need to go through that split testing method I just showed you over and over again until you find like a new hidden trend or like a hidden way of going viral with your particular product. And this is sometimes done by mistake. So let's say you're following a trend which is already existing, but then you introduce like a unique twist of your particular product, and then it suddenly like pays off, goes crazy viral. You could eventually just keep tweaking it up until you find like a completely new way of marketing a product. And I think we can relate this to this hook, because I've been seeing this product for the past year and I've never seen anyone do this hook before. In fact, now it's becoming a trend because a person did it, and then every other dropshipper stole this hook from him. So in a way, they normalized this hook to the point where it's very familiar. You see it all over the internet. And I've seen different products going viral with the same hook. So for that reason, you just keep split testing until something pays off, and then you can potentially find like a new trend. But the most important thing is the format or the idea of the entire video has to be the same as something that worked in the past. You know, you don't want to like entirely change the video. You could change just the hook with like something from your, like something original, and then it pays off. But there has to be a proof of concept which backs up your work. Number 2, how to go viral. Recreate viral content. So this I had to learn the hard way, because sometimes when I see like viral content, I don't know what it is, but sometimes you just want to do something different. But trust me, you have to just learn the skill of recreating what already worked. It's very linked to reinventing the wheel, but this is more of a skill, because you're basically, what you're trying to do is you're trying to get the same angle, the same props, the same you know, lighting, all of the above. You need to make sure that your content is similar to something that got 10 million views, but even better. Okay, and this way you're gonna guarantee to go viral. And then 3, how do you go viral? Number 3, you need patience. It does take time, but the one thing which I showed you a bit earlier, it does facilitate the process by posting theme content. You could make this process way faster. Like you can see here, I'm gonna hope I can show you like a post about this product. There you go. So this is the product initially. It's just like a band for your wrist, and what it does is, like, once you put it on, you can never remove it unless you break it. So you can see he's getting 3k views, 2.5, 5k. Then he stopped posting. He started posting like random stuff. Eventually he reaches. See, it does require a lot of patience. It did take him some time here. But yeah, eventually he got 120k, followed up by 270k. And then I think he's getting the green pass, like green light here. Eventually he's gonna have to post his product, because he's been getting a lot of views. So I truly think this is one of the ways for you to properly go viral nowadays. And the fact I haven't tried it yet is concerning. I think we both should run it ASAP. The reason I didn't run it is because I already have like a page with 25k followers, but the other page is struggling, so I'm gonna test it ASAP. So patience and consistency. Repost viral content / ideas. Alright, now next I want to talk about split testing, because I told you what it is, but you need to understand how it works. And honestly, this is the number one way for you to go viral. So let's say you start posting for like a span of 2 weeks. I don't want to say like 5 days, it's not enough data. You need some data. So let's say you post for 2 weeks, and then on average every post had 1k views on average. But then you had this one video which got 10k views. Okay? Now this 10k viewed video is not luck. Most of the time there's a reason why it got 10k. So now you gotta go to your CapCut and then duplicate the content. And the reason I say duplicate is because we're working on Instagram here, so it doesn't matter if you duplicate the content. Now most of the time, for a video to go like perform better than others, it's either the entire video idea or the hook. Okay, so I would say 90% of the time it's the hook. So for this case, I would say keep the hook, but then change the remainder, like the other part of the video. So in this scenario, we would say bring the 10k video, keep hook, change rest of the video. Now you post. So now that you have a new video where you remain, like you kept the hook, you kept the music, kept the text, you just changed the other part of the video. Now that you have posted, you can track your data and see, did it perform better or worse? If it performed better, then you're cooking. You can keep this hook and then just keep testing. If it performed worse, then change the hook, keep the rest of the video unchanged. Now you're more likely, like one or the other is more likely to get more views, obviously. So whatever performs better, this is where you get analytics. You get some sort of proof of concept that, okay, this is the part of the video which made me get more views. So eventually, over like the span of 2 to 3 times of you testing this, you're eventually gonna find like a new format which you could post and get 100k views. And then before you know it, if you post it enough with the right adjustments, the right hook, the right maybe text, you're gonna go viral. So this is literally what split testing is. It's basically just splitting the content which you had observed going viral in the past, keep splitting it, and then changing the content, tweaking it until something performs better. Eventually you're gonna find a better version of it, which is gonna perform better. And lastly, there's another way of split testing, which is completely recreating the video. And this is more of an advanced way, and I do recommend it if you are not lazy. So most of the time I would see people just doing the first route. However, if you are good at creating content, then you could literally recreate the entire video which had performed well in the past, but obviously you're going to be aiming for a better version of it, and this is almost a guaranteed way to get more views for the same video. So follow the same concept. There you go. And yeah, like from experience, I feel like most people are too lazy to create content. I've seen a lot of people, they just like they have 150k followers on Instagram, and all they do is go for the first route. And I mean, it works for them. They never have to create content, maybe like once a week. So let's say they have 6 seconds of revealing the product. Okay, this is the second part of the video, and then the first part of the video is the hook, which is like 3 to 4 seconds. So 99 or 90% of the time, people steal the hook. So they split test the hook, they keep changing it, and then they keep the remainder of the video. Okay, for that reason I said split testing, most of the time the hook is what gets you the views. So if you were to create this part 6 seconds and then always change the hook every single time, eventually you're gonna find the right hook which makes sense with the remainder of your video, and you're gonna go viral. And I'm telling you this based on what I've seen. Like, this is what a lot of these big pages do when they get lazy, and Instagram kind of makes you lazy because you get views for doing nothing. So what they do is they keep the video which they've created, the 6 seconds, but then they combine it with a hook which they stole from someone else. But yeah, this is obviously the first route. The second route is creating an entire new video with the incentive of making it better, so that you could replicate the viral video and make it better. So yeah, this was a bit boring / in-depth explanation of how to go viral, but I'm trying to show you guys like what it really takes for you to go viral, because it's not reinventing the wheel. It's more like collecting data, seeing what worked for competitors, for yourself, and then, you know, recreating it, posting it, tweaking it, eventually going viral. Alright, last thing I want to talk about is, before we go to the CTA, before we go to the last part, I just want to say, regarding the account, you need to make sure that your account is bringing you views from the right countries. Now, I don't know if I want to keep this in the video, but this is like some real sauce. I've noticed that English content on Instagram is really tough to bring in good leads, and that's because pretty much anyone can understand English. But if you are struggling with finding the right audience like me, I have 40% of my audience going to the wrong countries. From the 150 million views, 40 to 45% are going to literally countries that never convert. For that reason, one of the solutions I could do, because I have a high percentage of my followers and viewers going to Spanish speaking countries, I could, like, my last resort is actually to test for a few weeks, switching up my entire content to Spanish. And this way, not only do I eliminate any unwanted leads, which never converts, but also your algorithm may just push your content to the Spanish speaking countries, which will most likely convert better than the 40% which never converted. So this is from the top of my head. I've never heard anyone talk about this, but I've been seeing a lot of people get a lot of engagement or like views from Spanish, French speaking countries. And I think I could be doing the same no matter where you live, because the algorithm is like really complicated and it does help you if you do it right. So I'm just telling you guys what I know. I'm gonna test it myself. I'll give it like a few weeks. I'll see how it does. But if it does work, then this might be a game changer, honestly. Because even German countries, German-speaking countries in general, they convert like some of the best. So yeah, you just wanna make sure that your account is primed in the right country. And for IG, from experience, it's really hard to make sure your account is reaching the right countries because it's way more globalized. Remember, TikTok is banned from a lot of countries. However, IG is like accessible from everywhere. So it's really hard to target the right countries. And this is the number one obstacle which I have with IG. So although it brings you this very presentable branded platform, the leads that you get, depending on your account, of course. Now, my other phone here, I had someone from the US make me an account, so hopefully this will solve that problem. I've been posting for like 2 weeks. Once I do go viral, I'll be updating you guys with it. But yeah, I just had to give you the harsh truth about IG, because like everyone talks so highly of IG, but there's also this one issue which nobody talks about, which is the views being targeted to the wrong countries. So yeah, I'm gonna be testing like different ways of how I could get better leads. If I do find ways, I'll be sharing it for sure. But yeah, now last part, what to do after going viral. So I did this mistake in the past where I would stop posting and then just let it keep rolling with the views. But actually you should do quite the opposite. You wanna double down on the input, which is gonna double down on the output. So once you go viral, double down on everything. You put more stories, more testimonials, more Q&A on your stories. You wanna make sure that your highlights are properly, presentable and answering any doubts. You need to tweak on your website. Make sure you have the right offers. Make sure you have the right testimonials on your website. I've had a lot of people asking me like, why don't you have more pictures of like reviews? So I had to, add more. And lastly, apart from all of this, you could actually make a video which is simply explaining how to purchase a product. But again, this really depends on the product. So for my particular product, I didn't need to make a CTA video. However, I just doubled down on the input. So I would repost the viral content or just create new content, which is a split test of the proven concept. So unlike TikTok, where you have to always reply to comments and show them how to purchase, on IG you don't need to all the time. But obviously if you do, then it's better. So yeah, just make sure you have a lot of stories, a lot of highlights, and make sure your offers on your website are good. Because honestly, like once you go viral, that's where your website is important. Otherwise, your website is like just like it's not as necessary until you go viral. So yeah, I hope this explains it. So yeah, although this seems on screen not a lot of information, This was an hour-long video, so I try to go as in-depth into this topic as possible because I've seen a lot of people talk for like 10 minutes about this topic, and they're covering like the tip of the iceberg, and then they would say, join my Discord, join my paid course, and then I'll give you all the sauce. Instead, I decided to just show you examples and spill the sauce. And yeah, hopefully you guys learned a thing or two. Yeah, I'll see you in the next one.